Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom for April 20 through 26. My name is Natalie Sadie, and we are going to have a look at what the Oracle cards have to tell us about the energies for the week ahead. I hope that everybody's doing well. I know that these energies are incredibly intense right now. I've said this a few times, and can I say that as I'm shuffling cards, it literally just leaping out. I've been saying for a little while, these energies are intense. I know I'm going through some stuff. Other people are going through some stuff. And I just need to say, my cat in Australia literally just passed away. So I'm having a bit of a rough day as I'm doing this. My sister is having a terrible day. And I'm so grateful that my sister took such incredible care of Marvin since I moved over to the US, so it's a bit of a sad day for our family. Marv was 17 and she was a gift from the universe. She helped my grandmother heal through some stuff when she appeared in her backyard. Then she was with me for a number of years and through a whole bunch of different transitions. And then when I had to move over here, she moved in with Carolyn and she helped Carolyn through a whole bunch of transitions, and Carolyn just supported Marv through her final transition. So I only bring this up because I know that everybody is being tested in different ways, and it's, you know, so much energy in Aries. It's all the planets moving direct, and we are on the 26th, so on the last day that this reading is for, is when Uranus moves into Gemini. And so those last degrees of Uranus in Taurus, I'm sure, are part of all these unexpected things that are popping up for all of us. So just know that whatever you are going through, we're all dealing with our own stuff right now. Everyone's sort of fighting their own battles. Okay, so we've had a whole bunch of cards jump out. So let's take a look and see what's going on. We have trial and error, experimenting with your life, inexperienced in a job or situation, willingness to try new things, exploring all possibilities. Then we have crossroads, faced with choices, midst of indecision, facing the possibilities in life, rite of initiation. Answers, mystery reaches its resolution, having answers and clarity. Problems will be resolved, closure from the past. Then we have soulmates, harmonious partnership, a powerful love, soul family groups, a bond that helps you grow. Sadness, disappointment, regret, depression, unwelcome change. Cleanup, sweeping away negative situations, cleaning up your life, decluttering your mind, simplifying your life. And then the final card from the Ascending Life Oracle is serendipity, divine intervention, perfect timing, happy surprises, a fortunate stroke of luck. So look, we've all been going through this for a little while. And I think it's another week. The word I keep getting is almost like schizophrenic or bipolar, in that it's not this one energy that we're going to be dealing with. I think there are positives and I think there are challenges. And I don't even necessarily think they're negatives. I think it can feel challenging. I think it can feel difficult and hard, but I don't think they're bad things for us. I think they're pivot points where it pushes us forward so that we can move on and level up. But unfortunately, it's clearing through a lot of stuff. So first up, trial and error. I think that in these moments where everything feels chaotic, we are going to be forced to look at new things, try different options, and weigh up what's working for us. Now, it could be as simple as just exploring all the possibilities that are in front of us. What is the best option for how I'm going to move forward? And there are, I think sometimes we get so narrow-minded in being sure that there's a particular path or a particular way forward that we cannot see anything else. And I think that this is just a moment in time where we have to broaden our viewpoint. We have to look at things and go, hang on, okay, this could play out this way, this could play out that way. And I think it's a time to sort of be willing to step into new things that may present themselves, new job opportunities, just a new thing socially where somebody in your life says, hey, why don't we do this or why don't we do that? And it's like, you know what? I might have said no to that, but let's go give it a try now. I keep getting a vision of when I first went pole dancing. Now, let me say, I always thought that was a sport for me. I enjoy dance. I enjoy working out when I don't necessarily feel like I'm working out, in terms of it's not being in a gym and counting reps and all of that. But when I went to that class, I ended up going on my own, and I knew from the second I got in that studio that this was the workout for me. I got to move, I got to listen to music. There were great women in the class, and it was a wonderful, wonderful environment for me. But there are plenty of people that have turned up for shits and giggles with their friends, and then the friends kind of drop off and they go, no, this is the thing for me. And I never would have tried this, but I've got this one friend who was adamant, and this is why we're here. So it's just that moment of when somebody suggests something, it's just a time to say yes and explore everything that's in front of you. I think we are going to be faced with a crossroads and decisions that we have to make as to what direction we want to move in. And maybe sometimes when we're forced to make decisions, we can become very indecisive because we don't know what the right way is. And the reality is we're never going to know. What we have to trust is our gut. We have to trust that our soul knows which direction we're going in. And even if the direction we pick feels wrong or it doesn't work in the way that we'd hoped, we have to understand that we've learned something and there is value to what we've just done. There is value to what we've experienced. And maybe that value is something as simple as meeting some people that are going to serve us very well in our lives moving forward. Maybe it's an experience that is going to serve us later on when we're doing something else, and we then have the wisdom to know how to navigate that in a better way. And again, so we've got trial and error and crossroads together, and they're both about trying new things, facing the possibilities in life. I just think this is a week where everything may feel up in the air, or it may feel suddenly, because I know that for many people, they've felt very stuck and very stagnant. And we've talked, especially in the beginning of the year, about feeling like we're treading water and we're getting nowhere. And now suddenly there's all these possibilities and we have to make a decision as to what we're doing. I love when this card comes up because it means we are being given answers to things that maybe we've been waiting for. Maybe it's the conclusion of something. There's resolution. It's getting clarity around the things that we need. And sometimes closure from the past. Whenever answers comes up, it's always about us finally getting information that can set us free, that can give us that resolution, that can just give us clarity in terms of why things happened the way that they did. And if it's something that has sat with us in a negative way for a long time, it can just be the biggest relief. Or maybe it's just clarity around you had a suspicion that something was playing out a particular way and you weren't sure why it was happening, or you had a gut feeling and everybody was telling you you're nuts, and then suddenly you get that confirmation that you were in fact reading that situation correctly. And if that's the sort of answer that you get, that is also your sign to start trusting your gut more, start trusting the messages that you're getting because they are correct. Then we have this soulmates card. And I think that our relationships are going to be something that we rely heavily on this week. It could be that the partnership just deepens a little bit if you're already in a relationship. Could be that yeah, I think that whoever we're in a relationship, that bond is going to help us grow and expand and level up in the way that we're being called to do. And even though it says soulmates, I know people automatically think that it's a romantic relationship. It doesn't need to be a romantic relationship. It can be, your soul tribe. And some of my girlfriends, and I'm sure I've probably mentioned this in the past, some of my best girlfriends, from the moment we meet, we say hi, and then we talk as if we've known each other for years. And the reality is we've known each other for lifetimes. And it's just like our souls go, oh my God, we're finally back together. Let's catch up on everything. So soulmates can be leaning on that soul family, having that deep connection and trusting those people to kind of carry us through and love us and all of that. So rely on those bonds that you have this week to bounce ideas off with all these opportunities and situations that are being presented to you. It's those that are closest to you and that you're most bonded to that are going to help you navigate all of this. And if you are in a relationship, I really do think that this could be one of those moments where it's a real turning point. And I know for a lot of people, there are moments they get into a relationship and it's great. And then there is a particular moment where that relationship turns, and I mean turns for the better, not the worse. But it turns in a way that you go, holy shit, we just went to a whole other level in a really incredible way. So this could be one of those moments, which makes me super excited for those of you that are in these long-term relationships and have those moments, because I think they're very, very, very special when these moments come along. Okay, so now the last three cards that jumped out together. So we've got sadness, disappointment, regret, depression, unwelcome change. Now, we have to remember at the end of this week, on the Sunday the 26th, that's when Uranus enters Gemini. Whenever Uranus enters a new sign, there are always massive changes and things that go on. I always think about Uranus coming into, was it coming into Taurus or was it coming into Aries when the big Japanese quake happened? Because I remember watching it on TV. I was getting ready to go to a concert that night. It's weird the detail that we remember on certain things. So those are big shifts that have happened on global scales, where we see these big environmental things happen with everything that's going on geopolitically. It could be something in regard to foreign affairs. But in a more micro level, it could be that there is unwanted change in our life. And so that comes along, because to me, the unwelcome change was the first thing that jumped out when I pulled this card. But if there is disappointment, regret, or depression, I think that it's going to be related to everything that's shifting in our lives. And we hit a point where there is so much change that we start going, I can't do this. I can't deal with this. But I think that it is a fleeting moment. And one of my favorite sayings in the whole world is, this too shall pass. And with grief, with time, it passes. We're able to, as the memories pop up, instead of crying every time, we're able to smile and laugh at the incredible memories that we created with whoever it is that we have lost. It doesn't mean we ever stop missing them. It doesn't mean that, there aren't days or nights where we don't crave them, but time heals those wounds. So whatever it is that is causing this sort of heaviness for you, just know that it too shall pass. But I think I think it's significant that these last three cards came out together. So we've got sadness and we've got the cleanup card. Sweeping away negative situations, cleaning up your life, decluttering your mind, simplifying your life. So I think this triggers this. I think the sadness is what triggers you to finally go, okay, I'm done with this. Whatever is coming up for me, I want to change it, and actively taking steps and implementing things to alter how this all plays out. And I think that's going to be incredibly significant this week. And then we finish off with the serendipity card, which I just love, because I mean, you've got a scene here with mountains and trees and birds and beautiful low flying clouds and rainbows, and I think there's water down below. Divine intervention, perfect timing, happy surprises, a fortunate stroke of luck. So here's the thing. I think I always say we have to feel our emotions. So if you're feeling sadness, cry, scream, do whatever you need to do to relieve that pressure and release those emotions. You have to feel them. What you can't do is get stuck in it, because it's not healthy and it's not helpful to you. So I think when you get to clean up and you're going, okay, I'm going to shift how all of this plays out for me, because I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be in a different place. I think this is when we get a fortunate stroke of luck. I think this is where serendipity kicks in and says, okay, I'm going to, the universe says, I'm going to help you here. And the divine timing of things and how things always play out, I think, are incredibly fortuitous. And I do think that, I actually think that this is a good week. I still think we're in these challenging energies. I think we're in very unpredictable energy. And I know that for a lot of us, it can make us feel very unsettled. But I think that this is a moment to rely on our soul family, our soul tribe, whether it be a romantic soulmate, whether it be a soulmate of one of your friends, male, female, whatever it is, your family, your literal family, or your soul family. But it's time to rely on all of them to help you sort of navigate this. And you're probably going to be helping each other, because as I said, everybody is going through something right now. It all seems to be different depending on who we are and what house in our astrological chart is being challenged, but we're all going through it. And so all we can do is support each other and know that we're going to get through this. But I think once we start going, okay, these are the decisions I'm making. I'm going to try this. I'm going to say yes to this. I'm going to shift things in my life so that I'm not feeling this way anymore or being affected this way. And I think then the universe will go, there they go. And these fortuitous and serendipitous things will sort of fall into place. So now I've just pulled 3 cards from the Work Your Light Oracle deck, which is Rebecca Campbell. So we talked about the first 2 cards, trial and error and crossroads, and saying yes to the different things that are being presented. And the very first card that jumped out is yes, just say yes. So yeah, this is the week when things are being offered to you, and even if they feel completely out of character, it's time to say yes to what is being presented. Then we have Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. So you have your guides, you have the Council of Light, you have people supporting you on the other side, and it is time to trust all of that. And again, this plays into the serendipity energy, the divine timing of how things play out. So in those moments of being challenged, ask for help first of all, but tap into that deeper wisdom, because you'll probably get the guidance that you need, and then it's up to you to actually listen to what they're telling you. But just know that you are supported. No matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're going through, know that you are supported. Then the final one from the Work Your Light deck is deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. And So this card's always interesting to me because to me, even though it's moons and mountains and you can see water sort of at her feet, to me, it almost feels like she's underwater. And I think that this is a moment to, the be held part is what jumps out to me. And for me, it's to be held by the universe, to be held by those in your life. And this goes back to your soulmate card. Let your friends hold you, whether it be physically, energetically, however it needs to be, and also to do the same for them. But to physically be held, if that's what you need, if you need physical comfort, or to be held by the other side, your guides, the people, your guardian angels, the people that are taking care of you on the other side. Do a meditation and connect with them. But make sure that if you need to rest during this time, that you give yourself that, take care of yourself, because with so much, I want to say chaos, uncertainty, it can be incredibly draining. It can be a lot. So make sure that you are just taking the time that you need, and maybe the replenishment comes from feeling the sadness. That is the moment where you need to take a step back and breathe and go, okay, I need a day to just sit here and do whatever things are going to bring you comfort and joy and sort of make you feel nurtured is the word that I was looking for. Okay, so I feel like I was going to pull one from the Emergence deck, but I keep hearing one more. So okay. Okay, so the first card that jumped out was Elephant, Wisdom, and Power. So elephants are just steadfast in how they move forward. They are so strong, they are so stoic, and they are so incredibly wise. And they have so much regard and respect for their elders, especially the matriarch of the family. And when they need to fight and defend, they can, and they can cause incredible damage. But for the most part, they're incredibly peaceful animals. So this is a reminder to tap into that deeper wisdom that you have within yourself. It is a moment to remember to go back to your matriarch. And it doesn't need to be matriarch in terms of the matriarch of your literal family, blood, all of that. I get it. People have complicated relationships with their families. I had the same thing. But even though I wasn't close to my mother, there were women that I looked up to and that I went to for guidance and comfort when needed. So go and find your matriarch and get the support that you need, get the advice that you need. And there are moments in time where we can't be told anything because we already know everything about everything. But there are times where we have to listen to the advice being given because it's being given to us for a reason. And the other thing is, don't forget how powerful those elephants are. Like I said, they can cause destruction when they want to. If one of their own is being threatened, they will band together and they will protect whoever it is that is in danger. So don't ever forget, just because somebody is being gentle or because you're going for some advice, don't forget the power that you hold. Then we have Pegasus, the muse. So as we know, the Pegasus is a mythical animal, and yet it creates so much inspiration for so many. It is the muse to many. And I think this is a week to tap into that aspiration, because it's about looking at the life that you want And this is part of this whole cleanup. Look at the life that you want. Look at the inspiration. Look at the muse. What is it you want to create? And doing the work to clear the crap and clutter out of your life so that you can start working on this. Then finally, we have Barn Owl, resourcefulness. So this is about realizing that you have the capabilities, and maybe getting to your next goal isn't, you look at what you have and you go, I can't do this on my own, or I don't have the capacity to do this. But when you start to look around, you're like, okay, but if I do this thing over here and I do it this way, then that kind of gets me there, and then that'll kind of work, and that'll kind of work. You have to be resourceful and use what you have. You know, I've never been able to talk my way out of a speeding ticket. Let me say that just right off the bat. It doesn't matter how sweet and friendly I am. It's never happened. But as a woman, you get a male cop and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. And I didn't know what I was doing, and this happened and that happened. Should we be doing it? Probably not. But it's about being resourceful as a woman and using what you can to get the result that you need. You know, I had a girlfriend who was going in to do a course so that she could qualify to work in child protection in Australia. And she called me the day before and she said, I don't qualify to do this course. I just don't. I haven't met any of the criteria. And I said, yep, that makes about sense. And that's on par with how you run your life. And I said, but here's the thing. You are like no other human I have ever met in my life. You have dealt with a drug-addicted partner. You have raised 2 kids from a very young age. You lived out of home from the age of 13, and you've lived life. You understand how life works. So while you haven't had the work experience that they're talking about, you have other experience that makes you perfect for this role. And she went, yeah, you're right. And she went into that interview that she should not have gotten a yes to. And she talked about her life. She talked about her experience. She talked about why she would be perfect in this role ultimately that she wanted to get into, and why doing the course was so important. And they said, well, okay, we can let this go and we can let that go, but this course is this one little course, or this particular item was a non-negotiable. And so she went, okay, what if I agree to do that concurrently while I'm doing this course, so that I don't need to wait a whole other year to be able to get in and do what we're talking about? And with that, they went, that's perfect. And she got into the course. It was about being resourceful instead of looking at it and going, oh, I'm never going to get into this. She just went, yeah, no, I can do this. It's about negotiation. So just whatever it is you're aiming to achieve, be resourceful. You will be able to figure it out. You'll be able to get to where you need to go. It's a matter of deciding how determined you are, how great the muse is, is it really what I want? And if you desire it enough, you'll become resourceful enough. I hope this reading resonates with some of you, if not all of you. As I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not every reading is for every person. I realize that a lot of people are used to me doing these videos live. I've just noticed, in all honesty, that engagement is actually better when I post it as a pre-recorded video. So I don't know, give me your feedback. Tell me if you prefer it popping up this way, if you want me to go back to doing lives once I'm permanently back in my place. Because even though I am here and I am filming right now, the smell of chemicals and everything, as they've been refurbing my bathroom, and I have boxes of everything sort of piled up to the side because I still can't actually be in this house. So next week I hope to be back to normal, but let me know whether you like the videos being presented like this, if you want them to go back to being a live stream. I appreciate any feedback that you guys can give me, and I will see you next Monday for the next weekly Oracle Wisdom. Have a wonderful week, everyone.